Hey everybody, Mike Shreve here, and thank you so much for watching this video. We are going to have a lot of fun. So one of the things that you're going to find is that we as freelancers are really good at underpricing ourselves. I remember when I first started, oh my gosh, I was charging like $297 for something that I get paid $5,000 now to do. What has changed? Have I gotten that much better that I'm, 10 times, 100 times worth more than what I am, a year ago or 2 years ago or 5 years ago? No, what's happened is I've been able to figure out basically business math, right? And figure out how to position myself better as a freelancer so that I get paid what I'm worth. Now, this isn't about, I'm not trying to teach you guys how to like scam your clients or how to trick people into buying from you or any of those kinds of things, because that just doesn't work, right? Especially, as a freelancer, relationships are so critically important that you have to respect the relationship as much as you respect your bank account, right? So we can't use any tricks or scams or anything like that. So what I want to do today in this video is actually show you a few core concepts that if you understand and apply, you should be able to start charging more for your services is the thing that we're going to be talking about a lot today, about the danger of the number one in business, which is to say, if you only have one service to offer, that's really the path to undercharging and not getting what you're worth. So anyways, we're going to talk all about that today, but I just want you to understand what we're trying to do here. We are trying to help you charge a lot more than what you're charging right now. I would say 99% of freelancers are undercharging right now, but we're going to do it in an ethical, in a good, in a strategic way. I'm not about tricks. I'm not about scams. I'm not about any of that stuff. Okay, so let's jump right into it. First, what I want to do is teach you about the power of price. I've learned this from many different marketing mentors. It's very, very simple. It is that what you charge gives you power in your business. And I don't mean, again, we're not talking about like the power to rule over other people. We're talking about your price is what determines your ability to provide service, right? If you are undercharging yourself and you have to like cram your creativity into like 20 minutes instead of something that if you had spent 5 hours on it, it would be 10 times better, because you're just not getting paid enough and you got to cram, a common strategy for freelancer writers especially is like, okay, I can get paid $10 an article. If I just do 8 articles in an hour, then I'll, make $80 an hour and I'll, and then they try to go do these $10 articles and they can't do it because it's so much stress and all these sorts of things. So price is power. Price is what allows you to deliver your service in a way that gets results for clients. When you get results for clients, your price goes up, and I'll show you how that works. The price you set on your services determines the profit margins that you will have, or the profit that you make from whatever it is that you're delivering. Depending on what your profit is, that's the money you have in your bank account. Whatever that money is that you have in your bank account, it is what I call, I don't know if you can see it down here at the bottom, I call it empty mind. What empty mind to me is, as a creative person, it's very difficult for me to create things for people, to serve, to come up with good ideas and strategies and help my clients when I'm stressed, when I'm worried about, oh no, I'm not going to make enough money this week to meet my bills. So profit, how much money is in the bank account, is a direct reflection, at least for me in my creative stance when I'm doing work for clients, of my ability to be centered and focused on the project that I'm doing for my client. So therefore, the higher my price, the more profit I have, the better I feel about my empty mind, my ability to focus on what I do, and by definition, my ability to service my client increases. So the results I generate for my client also increase, and that allows me to charge higher prices. So again, the price that I set determines the profit that I make. The profit that I make determines how I feel about whatever project I'm doing, right? It's the focus, it's the ability to say, yes, I have enough time to deliver the results that I'm promising. I'm confident about my ability to deliver this thing for the client. That mental, whatever you want to call it, strategy or block or whatever that might be, directly feeds into the service I'm able to provide. The service I'm able to provide generates the results. The results are what allow me to set my price. Okay, so this is what we talk about when we say that price is power. Now, I had to show this to you before we get into the how do we actually raise our prices then. It goes like this. Okay, so one of the things, this is what I call a client outcome arc, and we're going to go through this process here together in a second. But one of the things that a lot of freelancers do is they go to the market with one service. They say, I will write you a blog post. I will create a logo. I will develop for you, or whatever their service might be. They say, I am this one thing. Now, the problem with that is, and we're going to talk about it here in a second, is that not everybody is ready to purchase that one thing. And so what happens is freelancers are required, or service professionals or whoever, are required to squeeze themselves into wherever the client is at mentally right now. And again, we're going to talk about this here in a second, but I just want to frame this correctly. What I'm saying is, oftentimes, because freelancers come to the market with one skill or one service offering, their only option is to reduce the price because the client doesn't actually need what they're offering right now. What the client needs is maybe something above or below or to the side or just over here, as opposed to the one thing that they're offering. Let me give you an example here, and you can ignore all this stuff. I mean, we'll talk about it in a little bit, but this is, Ryan Dice has made this popular. A bunch of other marketers have made this popular. It's called State A to State B, basically, which is to say that your client is in pain and frustration and difficulty right now. And the State B, right, so they're in sad face now, and then we want to move them, our services, whatever we do for people, moves them towards a situation of happiness. Maybe their sad face is that they're not getting enough traffic in their business, and their happy face is they have so much traffic they don't even know what to do. They need to create more offers because they're so happy. Now, to go from State A to State B, it's not an overnight thing. It's not like, okay, one day you have traffic, the next day you have too much traffic. Instead, there's steps along the way that are required to get someone from State A to State B. Now, the problem with most freelancers is they come out and they say, okay, the transition from State A to State B is I am a traffic guru and I will do your traffic. That's my service. I will do your traffic. The client doesn't understand this. The client is somewhere stuck on one of these steps. They've tried to move forward. Maybe they have their Facebook page set up and they're running Facebook ads, but now their Facebook ads aren't converting. See how that's different steps? If you were to break down what you actually do for people, you would find that there's a ton of different steps. Now, what I recommend for freelancers to immediately be able to raise their price so they can start getting price, start practicing the power of having good pricing, is to start offering different services based on the different steps of the client outcome arc. Okay, let's break this down. I'll give you an example here in a second. Let's break this down really quick though. Let's say that you're a traffic guru. You help people get more traffic. Don't pitch yourself anymore as, I'm going to help you get more traffic and that's my service and it's $2,000 a month. Instead, say, for X dollars, I will charge you X dollars to set up your Facebook page. I'll charge you X dollars to get your first ads running. I'll charge you X dollars to optimize your ads. I'll charge you X dollars. I'll charge you X dollars for whatever the next things might be. Build out the funnel, do the opt-in, whatever that might be. Okay. When you have these options, when separated, you are basically creating what are called micro commitments. So maybe you only charge $100 to set up a Facebook page. And maybe you charge $1,000, $2,000 to set up their Facebook ads. And then maybe there's a management fee on top of that, et cetera, et cetera. A couple of things are going to happen. First is, when you break it apart, you don't have to give your client one number when you say, I'll do your traffic, and it's $2,000 a month. You essentially, by breaking it into different pieces, allow yourself to add markup instantly. Does that make sense? So you know that because your one service is so big, like this is a common problem with a lot of freelancers, when they try to raise prices, their price gets too big for the client. The client's like, holy cow, I don't have $2,000 a month to pay you right now. I only have like $100. What can I do for $100? And then the freelancer says, well, nothing, because my service is $2,000 a month, and then they lose the client. Instead, what I'm trying to tell you, and we'll break down why this works in a second, is when you break it up into individual pieces, it's better for the client because they don't have to spend a lot right away, right? It's a micro commitment, and it's better for you because you can add in the margin that you need to add in. Let me give you an example here to show you what I'm talking about. So let's say that you have a superpower. If you're familiar with the No Pants Project, we talk about superpowers and all that kind of stuff. Let's say that you want to help people make funny YouTube videos. That's your thing, right? You're not just a YouTube guy. You make funny YouTube videos, and maybe you do it in the health and wellness space. So I help clients help people to lose weight with funny videos. Here is some of the stuff that you could do, and it's getting cut off here a little bit. Maybe I'll adjust my camera there. Oh, and the microphone's in the way. Okay, we're just going to deal with it as it is. This is live, everybody. So step one, right? So there's the state A, sad, state B, happy. I help clients help people to lose weight with funny videos, and there's all the different steps. Well, step one is maybe a content strategy, right? And so you help clients develop a content strategy, and it's $100, right? Maybe it's you help them accomplish that content strategy in a scaled and passive way, so you don't even have to do it yourself, right? You literally just create like a little ebook, and you can sell it for $7, for $14, for $20. But that's step one. Before someone can have funny YouTube videos, they need to have a content strategy first. So you package that step in a new way, in maybe a passive income way. So you make a book out of it. Okay, and you sell that book. Step two is maybe, if somebody wants to make a funny YouTube video, they need to write the script. Okay, but maybe you don't want to write the script. Maybe you know it's a critical, important step to making funny YouTube videos, but you just want to do the video stuff. You don't actually want to write it for them. So what do? You maybe have a workshop online. It can be even a free thing like this. Make a free video, teach people how to, or you can have a paid workshop online where you teach them how to write a good script. They go write it themselves. Or maybe even on the workshop, someone's writing the script and you literally upsell them to, maybe you have a partner who can write for you and you take a little bit off the top. But do you see how breaking it down, instead of just saying, I'm the funny YouTube video guy and I'll help you from A to B and I'll do everything for you. Instead, you break it down and make them individual offerings by understanding how you take people from sad to happy, state A to state B, and what the steps are to get there. Let's keep going. Script critique. Well, once they have the script, they're going to need a critique of whether or not it's funny. Is it really going to work? Is it going to be viral enough for what they're looking for? Maybe that's one of your done-for-you services, right? So now you teach them how to write it, and then you can maybe upsell to a done-for-you service for like $500, $1,000. You'll take a look at their thing and you'll tweak it, and but they do all the hard work and all that kind of stuff. And then lastly, I don't think you can see here, once they have the script, they're going to need some slides. Okay, maybe you don't want to make slides. Maybe you literally just want to do the editing. Okay, well, outsource that, add that to your business. So you've instantly been able to raise your prices because you're taking your service and you're breaking it up into individual products and services underneath this arc of an umbrella. Now, why are we doing this? Mike, you've been talking about this for almost 20 minutes. Why the heck are we doing this? Okay. This is the philosophy of the lazy fisherman. And I apologize, there's some marks. I used this example in another lesson some other time. I want you to just take a look at these fish down here. Different sizes. They're going in different directions. They're at different depths of the water here, the ocean, whatever we want to talk about. A lot of freelancers, again, this is the danger of going out into the marketplace with just one product. A lot of freelancers will just have one hook in the water. Now, here's the problem. That one hook in the water, it has to be the appropriate depth. It has to have the right bait on it. It needs to be facing the, it needs to be for the fish who are, going in the right direction. It needs to have the odds are against you as a freelancer when you go with just one hook. See, because look, all these other fish are like going in different directions. They want different bait. They're at different depths and levels. They're going to completely miss the hook. They're not even going to see it. This is the market. These are your service offerings. When you act like a lazy fisherman and you put out as many hooks as you possibly can of potential service offerings, what you do is you find people where they are at, which is to say you are able to extract more revenue from the market by basically increasing your ability to serve more people. And you're able to serve more people because you're meeting them where they are at. Because let's go back here and take a look at this really quick. Some people already have a content strategy. Some people already have a script. If you go out and you say, I make funny YouTube videos and one of the things I do is I write the script for you, and that's your only service, you're missing out on all of these people. And frankly, a lot of these people who already have stuff done have the money to pay you the higher prices. And that's another thing that a lot of freelancers do is they'll go out and because they only have one service offering, they'll dive to the bottom. They'll try to find beginners. They'll try to find the cheap people because they don't understand this concept that there are some people that are just already further along. So all you have to do is like, okay, well, you already have your content strategy. You already have how to write the script. Well, I can do script critiques. I can take you where you're at. Like maybe you're at step 4 and I can help you get to the end. I can help you do step 4, 5, and 6. Maybe you're at step 5. I can help you with that final push to get to step 6 and get to the happy place where you want to be. Okay. So it just, again, when you do this, what happens is, regardless of your marketing mechanism, regardless of whoever your audience is that you're talking to and that you're working with and all these sorts of things, regardless of who that is, you're now able to reach more of them as the provider of a potential solution. Now, I want to give you one more tip. We're going to skip this one here. I want to give you one more tip about understanding this thing we call price and how you can increase your price as a freelancer. Okay. I call this the base positioning matrix. I didn't invent this. This is just sort of how I think of it. A lot of people have taught this over the years. It's very, very simple. You can either be good and fast, but not cheap, which is to say you're really very, very expensive, or you can be good, not fast, and cheap, right? Or you can be not so good, very fast, and very cheap. Here's my recommendation. If you are starting out as a freelancer and you are wanting to develop a skill, this is how you price first, right? So you do fast and cheap, but don't try to be good, right? So that's, let's look at the reality of the marketplace. We can't just go out there and say, I'm $1,000 an hour, even though I've never done this. So maybe at first you're very fast and you're very cheap. Now maybe, if you still want to be good, but you're looking maybe for a little bit more flexibility, like you don't want to be at the whims of a client, you don't want to hit their deadlines, you kind of are looking for a little bit more flexibility in your freelancing business, be good and cheap. That's the key, right? And be like, well, sorry, I can't turn things around super, super fast. And then lastly is this is sort of like the prime place to be, is to be good, to be fast. And I don't mean like record-breaking fast. I just mean if someone hires you to write a sales letter, don't take a month and a half, and not cheap. Okay, so there's a hierarchy to pricing as well. That's kind of a side note just to get you the brain juices to going. But again, I want to talk about this price is power, and we'll close this lesson for today. The price you set determines the profit you make. The profit you make determines how you can focus, the energy you can devote to a project. It's what I call empty mind. It's being able to sit down at the computer, being able to sit down at whatever thing you might be doing, drawing or writing or whatever it is, and being able to focus and being able to offer the best possible service that you can, because when you offer the best possible service that you can, you get results for your client, whatever those results might be, and then you're able to further justify and increase your price. So my friends, that is a few quick tips on how to increase your price as a freelancer. I've got tons and tons more that I plan on sharing over the next couple weeks and months and all that kind of good stuff. Hopefully this served you. Remember, the fastest way to increase your price now is through the client outcome arc. That will give you the power that you need to further increase your price, to stay profitable as a freelancer, especially in this changing economy as more and more freelancers are coming on board. Price is going to be one of the things that sets people apart. And I don't mean cheapness. I mean who can deliver and maintain high prices because of their delivery. So love you guys so much. I hope that if you have a chance, check us out, the nopantsproject.com. We have a really cool workshop that we're doing, which explores a lot of these ideas. I talk about how you can make $50 to $100 an hour by discovering what's called your superpower, which is a little bit about the client outcome arc and figuring out your place in the market so you're not commoditizing yourself. We also talk about how to create what's called a client getting faucet. Client getting faucet is basically, remember that image that I showed you of the fish in the sea going back and forth, how to actually create that for yourself, and then how to drop lines into that water so you can basically generate as many clients as you want. And then lastly, we talk about the great mysterious passive income as a freelancer. So that's one of my favorite parts, is teaching freelancers that it's not just about trading time for money. And then lastly, I actually have a gift for you. If you comment below, let's say, maybe if you comment below, yes, please, we'll practice manners on the internet. I know, it's a crazy idea. But if you comment below, yes, please, this video, I'm going to send you my anti-commodity formula, which is a further extension of what we've just talked about here. You're not going to have to give me your email or anything like that. Just type in the comment below, yes, please, and I will give you that. It's like 20-something pages of helping you to figure out how to get out of the race to the bottom in pricing. It's so critical that you do that. It's the only way to stay sane. It's the only way to build a life that you want to build. And I honestly believe it's going to be the only way to stay successfully freelancing within the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, as people are getting sick and tired of cheap freelancers. Because of this, when you're cheap, you can't deliver good services, you don't get the results, and so you can't charge the higher prices. Anyways, I hope that's helpful. I hope that served you. Y'all have a good day, and we'll see you around the internet.